Episode 4 of Spartacus, House of Ashur seems to be the series' real moment. By now, the shock of seeing Ashur not only alive but thriving has faded, and the writers have begun to explore the consequences of giving such a manipulative character real power. This episode relies heavily on political maneuvering and psychological tension, and for the most part it works well. Ashur remains the center of the story, and Episode 4 does a great job of reminding us why he's both fascinating and deeply unsettling. His intellect is sharp, his brutality is calculating, and his ambition no longer hides behind his survival instincts. There's almost a discomfort in seeing him act from a place of control rather than desperation, and this episode smartly builds on that discomfort. The most noticeable thing here is how Ashur's relationships begin to change. The people around him are no longer just enemies or tools, but potential threats. Every conversation feels like a game of chess, and even moments of obvious devotion carry hidden nuances of betrayal. This scenario reveals that Ashur's trust in the world is temporary and transactional. This episode feels like the supporting characters are becoming more defined. While previous episodes have positioned them as a continuation of Ashur's rise, Episode 4 makes their motivations and internal conflicts more clear. Some people are motivated by fear, some by opportunity, and some by unreasonable hopes. This dynamic adds depth and helps the series become more than just a one-man show. Visually, this episode stays true to Spartacus' legacy. The violence is present, but it's more toned down and used to raise the stakes rather than overpower the story. When violence occurs, it seems intentional, reminding viewers that power in this world is always achieved through blood, even if politics is the main weapon. The packing is slower than previous episodes, but that works to the episode's advantage. Episode 4 doesn't aim for spectacle, but rather boils over tension. The quiet moments, the glances, the pauses, the implied threats are just as important as the action scenes. It's a confident narrative choice that shows the series doesn't rely solely on its violent reputation. However, the series is not without its flaws. Some storylines feel delayed, as if the writers were waiting for later episodes to finish completely. While this builds anticipation, it can also make certain moments feel unfinished or undeveloped. Emotionally, the fourth episode turned out to be colder than longtime Spartak fans expected. There are fewer raw passions and tragic outbursts, replaced by calculated cruelty and quiet horror. This shift in tone may divide viewers, but it fits the story being told. This is not a story of rebellion, but of corruption and survival. The ending of the episode is particularly effective, giving the viewer a strong impression that Ashur's rise is far from safe. The cracks in his control are subtle but noticeable, suggesting that his greatest strength, cunning, may also be his greatest vulnerability. Overall, Spartacus, House of Ashur Season 1 Episode 4 is a solid, character-driven chapter that prioritizes tension and intrigue over spectacle. It may not be the most explosive episode of the season, but it's one of the most important, laying the foundation for the betrayal and bloodshed that seems inevitable. This episode is suitable for viewers who want to see the slow and dark development of the